Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's July 9th, 2016. In this video, we're going to further break down the reported Dallas police officer shooting of July 7th, 2016. That event was staged propaganda, something known as a psychological operations in the U.S. Army Field Manual. What we're looking at here is a PDF of the U.S. Army Field Manual 33-1-1. This section is about the Psychological Operations Program, which is a real program that's carried out domestically and internationally that serves the purpose of persuading populations within nations to go down the path of agenda that is favorable to the U.S. government and the U.S. military. With regards to this psychological operations being listed in Field Manual 33-1-1, I want to talk about the significance of the number 33 in psychological operations. There's a language called gematria, and in this language, words become numbers. I want you to notice that the phrase false flag has gematria of 33. False flag is a term for a form of psychological operations. September 11th was a false flag. That was an agenda item carried out by its own government that was used as an excuse to go to war and change U.S. domestic policy. In the wake of 9/11, the Patriot Act was passed, which allowed the U.S. government to spy on its own people, collect its own people's data, to breach our Bill of Rights. And ever since September 11th, this agenda has gone unchecked. 33 is a very important number to the Freemasons. It is Freemasonry who has a stranglehold on our government, our media, and of course our police. Our police are our domestic military. So the PSYOPs being in Field Manual 33 is no coincidence. Let's look at what the definition of a psychological operations is. We'll read it right from the Field Manual. Here we go. PSYOP, that's short for psychological operations, are planned operations that convey selected information and indicators to foreign target audiences to influence their emotions, motives, objective reasoning, and ultimately the behavior of foreign governments, organizations, groups, and individuals. And even though this is focused on foreign, rest assured they do the same thing in the United States of America. If you look at the history of TV news, all of your news anchors, your major news anchors from the beginning of TV up to the present, have attended military schools, military academies. The TV has always been a tool for psychological operations. The purpose of all PSYOP is to create in neutral, friendly, or hostile foreign groups the emotions, attitudes, or desired behavior that support the achievement of U.S. national objectives and the military mission. If you turn on cable news right now, in the wake of the Dallas shooting, there's a lot of pundits saying the police need to militarize. They need better body armor. They need better weapons to keep up with the threat. This is the PSYOP. In doing so, PSYOP influence not only policy and decisions, but also the ability to govern, the ability to command, the will to fight, the will to obey, and the will to support. The combination of PSYOP products and actions create in the selected TAs, target audiences, behavior that supports U.S. national policy objectives and the theater commander's intention at the strategic, operational, and tactical levels. So you have to recognize what kind of nation you live in as a U.S. citizen. This nation, what it does above all is war. Since its inception, it has been at war. It's been at war almost every year ever since. This is a military empire. Why is it so often at war? Because war generates profit for the people at top, and war is a form of control, getting people to obey, conform. The nature of PSYOP is varied and ever-changing. PSYOP personnel must support a broad range of missions and force structures and environments ranging from austere to highly sophisticated. PSYOP are planned, coordinated, and executed before, during, and after conflicts, and must be integrated at all echelons to achieve its full force multiplier potential. Now remember, this was in Field Manual 33. We talked about police, masonry, false flag, all gematria of 33. It's the Freemasons running it at the top, coding the language, coding the numbers. With regards to September 11th, the World Trade Centers were built 33 years before they fell. Construction started August 1968. They came tumbling to the ground September 2001. In 1968, World Trade Center construction began. 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. All in 68, 33 years before Bush became president, 33 years before 9/11 happened. And to make matters worse, to show you just how planned out these PSYOPs are by the numbers, George W. Bush's birthday is 68 days before September 11th. July 6th to September 11th, a span of 68 days. 68, a big year for this nation, political assassinations, Bobby Kennedy, MLK, and more. So now that we've established what a PSYOP is, and now that we know that there's this coding of numbers and words, let's check out what's going on with the current PSYOP in Dallas. Part of this psychological operations is to militarize the police. Again, another part is to divide the nation among race. There's also other PSYOPs working alongside, dividing us among religion, political party, sexuality. It's divide and conquer, order through chaos. So, in the wake of the shooting, we get this former congressman's tweet. Congressman Joe Walsh sends out this tweet that Obama better watch out, along with other groups that he casts as negative. He makes Obama seem like he's this enemy to the American public. And, I'm not here to debate that. I'm not a fan of Obama at all. I've told everyone since the beginning that he'll be no different than any president that's become before him. He's just another politician. But he is the first black American, and he did become the president at a very crucial moment in the nation's history. We were in the middle of a very long war. The economy wasn't doing well. This, threat of domestic terrorism, foreign terrorism. Obama came in to the presidency at a relatively unstable moment. And that wasn't by accident. It's all part of the design of what's going on in this nation. Everything's scripted. There's a reason the 44th president is the first black president, which we're going to get to. So anyhow, this congressman trying to fuel the race war says Obama better watch out in the wake of the Dallas shooting. Anytime the media emphasizes words in a headline, there is gematria in that phrase. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. Watch out Obama sums to 44. Obama's the 44th president. The word kill equals 44. So does the word hope, which he ran on. Everyone knows the likeness of Obama with the word hope. His 2008 campaign. None of this is arbitrary. This language of gematria, very important to the Masons at the top, who run the PSYOPs. With regards to 44 in the history of the presidency, it's been a fateful number. The first president to ever die in office was the 9th president, William Henry Harrison. The next president to die in office will be the 9th president to do so. William Henry Harrison died on 4/4, April 4th. When you write out April 4th, it sums to 144, just like the number 44 itself. And if you're new to my channel, I am showing how the English language is definitely based on gematria. The calendar system is built around this language. Notice when you write out 44, you spell it in a very awkward way. This is something I used to question as a kid. Why is 40 spelled without a U? If we spell 4 with a U, shouldn't 40 be spelled with a U logically? The English language is not meant to make sense. It is based on this number code. This is why the words are awkwardly formed in so many cases. All the words are made to fit within a particular number pattern. So 44, April 4th, both gematria of 144. First president to die in office died on that date, as well as Martin Luther King Jr. The last president to die in office was JFK, who was the 35th president. The word Catholic equals 35. He's the only Catholic president. JFK was also the 44th term president. You know, presidents sometimes do more than one term. JFK, the 44th term president. He died on the first day of Sagittarius, November 22nd, 11 plus 22, 33. He died in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Master Mason. The day he died, Sagittarius, the astrological sign, gematria of 144. His brother Bobby Kennedy would die on June 6th at 1:44 a.m. That's where it's reported everywhere in the history books, that his brother died at 1:44 a.m. Robert Kennedy equals 66. Sirhan, the assassin of Robert Kennedy, equals 66. Dead on 6/6 at 1:44. Things have been going on by the numbers in this nation for a long time. Abraham Lincoln, the name Abraham equals 44. Civil War president. He wrote in his journal on April 4th, 1865, that he dreamed of being assassinated. He would be shot 10 days later, on April 14th, a date that can be written 14/4, a lot like 144. He would die early the next morning. He would be shot 10 days after dreaming of being assassinated on April 4th. And really, truth seeker, what it all is a riddle, a mockery of the people. Lincoln was shot by an actor in a theater. It's all part of a joke. He was shot in Ford's Theater, which Obama reopened at the beginning of his presidency. Obama from the land of Lincoln. Obama reopens Ford's Theater, where Lincoln was assassinated at the beginning of his presidency. He did that February 11th, 2009, the 42nd day of the year, a date with 42 numerology. Special number to the Freemasons. So, now we understand why 44 is coded into Watch Out Obama. And what you need to understand is these Congress members, these people in our media, they're puppets on strings. They're just following orders. You know, he's told to put out this controversial tweet and play the racist bigot. If you haven't seen his tweet, check it out. Clues are dropped in the media about what's going on in this nation all the time. This article is from ABC originally. It came out just before Obama was elected the president. It was new information 44 years after the assassination of JFK. This story came out November 22nd, 2007. 44 years after JFK's death, new assassination plot revealed. And at this time when this article came out, Obama was running to be the 44th president coming out of Chicago. And look at what this story tells. 44 years earlier, JFK was nearly assassinated at Soldier Field in Chicago. Do you think this is a coincidence that they released this story while a man's running from Chicago to be the 44th president, the first black president? It's not. It's all part of a sick joke. And this is why the entire time I've been doing my blog, doing this video channel, knowing what I know about history, I've been saying that it seems that the head of this agenda, having the first black president as number 44, having all these racially divisive stories such as Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Sandy Bland, and so many more, in the time of the first black president, it seems that the head of this agenda is a shooting of the 44th president. It's possible that it does not happen before he leaves office, but remember, he's hanging around Washington, D.C. until his daughters graduate from school. It's very possible that if Obama does finish his term without an assassination, we read about him getting killed later in a provoking story. This agenda of shootings, race-based, it's heading somewhere, and ask yourself, what could be a more clear pinnacle of the agenda than assassinating the first black president who has the kill number coded on him? Other headlines emphasized the phrase watch out alone. Watch out in English gematria, also known as Sumerian gematria, also known as Satanic gematria, sums to 666. And 666 is a very special number from Revelation, the final book of the Bible, the 66th book of the Bible, the book of prophecy. Prophecy in Jewish gematria also sums to 666. And how this connects to Obama is Obama's born on August 4th. August 4th is the 216th day of the year. The name Barack, his first name supposedly, even though that's not his real name. What you should know about Obama is his real name is not Barack Hussein Obama. That's his actor agent name. He's not the first president to have an actor agent name. That's who serves the presidency. Agents, people who are willing to go before the masses, lie to them, smile to them, sell them out the entire time they're in office. That's who we get every single time for president. I told everyone in 2008 Obama would be this type of person. So anyway, Obama born August 4th, the 216th day of the year. His name equals 216. 216 is a number connected to 666. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. This year, the Republic Convention will be in Cleveland, home of the 216 area code. Game 6 of the NBA Finals, the last played in Cleveland, finished with a combined 216 points. If you've never seen my work, I'm showing how sports, media, it's all scripted by the Masons, by the numbers. My presentation at this point, what I have accumulated in backing up my presentation, it's an undeniable message. You know, I challenge anyone to go through my work and disprove what I'm showing. So anyhow, this is how Obama is connected also to the number 666, connected to prophecy. With regards to 6 in prophecy, 666, 6 and the word prophecy also share gematria. And I don't think that's any coincidence. Our entire language is based on this ancient knowledge. Think about the Bible, Revelation. This is something way older than English. They built the language around this old world knowledge, this old world thinking, this old world spirituality. The day Obama's born, it's also the day that leaves 149 days left in the year. The shooter in Dallas, they said he was 25 years old. His name, Micah, in gematria, sums to 25. When you write out 25, it sums to 149, just like the number of days left after Obama's birthday, his very coded birthday. I'm sure Obama's birthday is not really 8-4 either, all part of his actor-agent identity. The name Obama in Jewish gematria equals 84, like August 4th. United States of America equals 84. Skull and Bones, the Masonic order, also has gematria of 149. The president before Obama was George W. Bush, a member of Skull and Bones publicly. In 2004, the Democratic challenger who ran against him for president, John Kerry, also a member of Skull and Bones. It's entirely possible that Obama's a member. The Skull and Bones membership has not been public for many years. The last people you're going to hear about being in it are Bush and Kerry. So just things to think about, possibilities. Here's the picture of the congressman who said Obama better watch out. The media showed him with this picture. Every media outlet put the same picture out of him with Reagan in the background. When Reagan bought his home in Hollywood, he bought it at the address 666. Reagan, the 33rd governor of California before becoming president. Ronald Reagan's also someone who had a political assassination attempt against him. It was a hoax. It was a script. And there was a propaganda story that went with it ever after. When the hoax assassination took place against Reagan by the numbers, it happened at 2:27 in the afternoon or 33 minutes till 3. Happened just after he took office. It said that his bodyguard, James Brady, was shot and was forever paralyzed from the waist down. And what's interesting about James Brady is he was assassinated on Obama's birthday. He was murdered August 4th, 2014, the day Obama turned 53 years old. James Brady, who supposedly saved Reagan from a presidential assassination, was murdered on Obama's birthday not long ago. And what was really creepy is I did a video talking about the synchronicities between James Brady, Obama, 84. Did a blog post about it. Shortly after that, James Brady was assassinated. That's how come the people who follow my channel, who've been here since the time I've been doing this work, they know that my work's legit. They see the patterns, they're ongoing. The year before James Brady was assassinated on Obama's birthday, or actually 2 years before that, it was August 4th, 2012, the Summer Games in the UK. Serena Williams was getting the gold medal, and the national anthem was playing. They were raising the flag slowly to the music, and right as the lyrics would be saying, "But our flag was still there," the flag fell from the rafters. A scripted moment, foreshadowing of something tragic to come to the nation. And at the time, ever since, I've been thinking that that tragedy would be Obama. It might be that, it might be something else. But what the point to take away is all of this stuff is scripted intentionally. Joe Walsh, he's born in the same year as Obama, 61. They're both 54 years old. The word oracle has gematria 54, having to do with future telling. You know, the Golden State Warriors, they play at Oracle Arena. Their home winning streak snapped at 54 games in the scripted world of sports. Oracle Arena is also 106 feet tall, not by coincidence. The word prophecy equals 106. They're home to the Warriors that are originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia, named in Revelation, the book of prophecy. Joe Walsh in gematria, interesting name, gematria of 39 and 93. Those numbers right away remind me of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., two men assassinated at age 39. Both of their names in gematria sum to 93. They only met one time in history, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. They met on a date with 93 numerology, matching their names. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his last speech at Mason Temple. Malcolm X killed on a date with a life lesson number of 44. His assassin had name gematria 44, got a 44-year prison sentence. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination would die on a date with 144 numerology in prison, supposedly. All of these numbers related. These are special numbers. 93, the number of Saturn, the keeper of time. Time's connected to 44. This congressman's birthday, a date with 119 numerology, like all-seeing eye, like Star of David, showing that he's one of these Zionist Masonic agents, chosen. Also a date with a life lesson number of 56, like the word president, like Black Lives Matter. Important number coded into the shooting. This is how it's done. Actor agents in the media, provoking the people, giving canned lines by the numbers. Been going on since the beginning of this nation. Still going on. So now they put out the image of the shooter. They give us his name. I'm going to show you beyond a shadow of a doubt. This is a made-up story. This is an actor agent. This is someone who's willing to participate in the PSYOP. Look at what they say his name is. Micah X. Micah X. Definitely a tribute to Malcolm X. A subtle reminder. Malcolm X at one point in his life used as part of the race war agenda, always blaming the white man, while working for his Jewish bosses. That's what a lot of black people in this world don't understand. It's the Jewish people who've been running the show and charging up people with racial tension through the media they control. Read the Protocols of Zion, see what they say about race and how it's the easiest way to divide and conquer. It surely is true. We are a people racially divided, racially conquered. It's been that way for way too long. So anyway, Micah X. Show you something about that name, Micah X. Has the same gematria as 58, like Freemasonry. It's the Freemasons running the show. In the work I've already done on the killings of Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, how that was part of an agenda. I said that agenda would lead to another story that's part of the plan. It came the next day, this Dallas shooting that we're not now talking about. These numbers 58 were coded all over those shootings. So were tributes to the Black Panther Party. It's Huey P. Newton who established the Black Panther Party. Huey P. Newton equals 58 like Freemasonry. He set it up in Oakland. Oakland equals 58. If If you missed my work on the Super Bowl, I predicted what the Super Bowl would be. Months before it happened, I predicted who would be the MVP, and I even said there'd be a Black Panther tribute at halftime. All of that came true because I see how history is scripted. I knew it would be the white Broncos versus the Black Panthers. Think about O.J. Simpson and the white Bronco. Think about the symbolism of the Black Panther. That O.J. Simpson TV show about his trial came out the week before the Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year. Race war equals 33, just like false flag. All of this stuff is so coordinated, it's mind-blowing when you really look at it. The word Freemasonry, the big way, equals 139. Malcolm X was born on May 19th, the 139th day of the year. Ford's Theater, where Lincoln was assassinated, equals 58 the small way, 139 the big way, which Obama reopened when he began his presidency on the 42nd day of the year. In this picture of Micah X, look at what's in the background. These numbers are no accident. Either is this word colors. You know, this is a race war PSYOP. Colors, think about it. I don't even need to elaborate on the colors. However, colors does have the same gematria as Dallas, Texas. That's interesting. With regards to the 4484, these numbers code out to Barack Obama, the 44th president, born on 8/4. And I want you to know, and you already know this yourself, if you watched the news coverage the night of the shooting, you could tell it was a PSYOP, you could tell that nothing was happening, you could tell it was a bogus presentation, but you also heard the commentators talking about the assassination of JFK all night, and how the shooting came very close to Dealey Plaza where JFK was killed on 11/22, at least so we're told. Let me show you what these numbers have to do with Obama further. We talked about what they have to do with JFK. 44 and 84, very closely tied to Obama. He's the 44th president. If you add the divisors of 44, they sum to 84. Divisors are the numbers that divide into 44. The numbers that divide into 44. 1, 2, 4, 11, 22, 44. Those are the numbers that divide into 44. You add them together, they sum to 84. Obama, the 44th president, born on 8/4. Obama, 84. Again, United States of America, 84. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 84. A PSYOP for a nation. A PSYOP that's part of an ongoing agenda that we've already seen the latest of. And in the days ahead, we're going to see a lot more connected too. This story is going places. This is going to be going on up until the election and beyond. Again, the words kill and hope equal 44. Abraham, first Republican president, number 16. Abraham, 44. Here's JFK, the last president to be assassinated on the first day of Sagittarius, the 44th term president. The 35th president, Catholic equals 35. In the history of the Catholic Church, there was a 33-day pope, Pope John Paul I. He died on a date with 44 numerology, the kill number, his 33rd day as president. JFK was said to be a uniter. Very interesting that the Civil Rights Act came July 2nd, 1964, exactly 223 days after the killing of JFK. Masonic equals 223. After I finish this video, I'm going to put out another video on the governors and mayors of the cities involved in this PSYOP and how they're all directly connected. The governor of Texas, his name in gematria sums to 223. Always find this number around Masonic wrongdoing. Very special number to the nation as well. The Star-Spangled Banner equals 223. So the Civil Rights Act happened in 64 on July 2nd, the midway point of the year, perfect division of the year. You know, the civil rights is supposed to be about unity, but as we've seen in this nation, ever since the Civil Rights Act, you know, we haven't come together as a people. Millions of black Americans are worse off than they were in 64. Something that should be impossible if this bill was really about building a stronger, more united, fair nation. Notice that Barack Hussein Obama equals 64, just like civil rights. The act happened in 64, not by coincidence. Colors has gematria of 28, as well as 37. We just saw the 37-year-old Alton Sterling be killed. In the video on Alton Sterling, I talk about how 37 further connects to the date of the shooting. Colors also has gematria of 82, the big way, the reflection of 28. Barack Hussein Obama with the S exceptions also sums to 82. Dallas, Texas, colors. This was one of the headlines in the wake of the shootings of the two young black men. This is not just a black issue. And in gematria, that has coding that syncs up with Chicago. Again, Obama from Chicago. Before these recent shootings, the big news stories for police and justice were the killings of young black men in Chicago. It was Ronald Johnson and Laquan McDonald. And at the same time those stories came out of nowhere, they were supposedly from a year before both of them, and they just came out of nowhere in the media. Looked completely fake, fictitious, the video that was released. At the same time as those shootings, there was also a PSYOP in San Bernardino blamed on ISIS, a terror attack, remember? Remember this. McDonald's is headquartered just outside of Chicago. Ronald McDonald is their mascot. Their first restaurant was opened in San Bernardino. At the same time, all of these stories were circulating. The killing of Ronald Johnson, Laquan McDonald, Ronald McDonald, and then a shooting in San Bernardino. And again, in history, Ray Kroc, the man who made McDonald's huge, died on January 14th, 1984. 1984. McDonald's in gematria equals 31. 31 years later was 2015 when these PSYOPs came that were coded to McDonald's. Going back to the 1984 death of Ray Kroc, 187 days after his death exactly, there was the massacre supposedly at a McDonald's restaurant in San Ysidro. San Ysidro has the same gematria as massacre. 187 days after Ray Kroc's death, a killing at a McDonald's on the date July 18th. A date that's written 18/7, just like 187. The homicide code in California. And if you look at where McDonald's is headquartered, the little town just outside of Chicago, in gematria, it sums to 187. If you go through the other shooting hoaxes that followed in the 80s, including the Gone Postal, where the killer was 44 years old, if you decode their names of these shooters from the 80s and these shooting hoaxes, all of their names sum to 187. You can read the draft chapter I put out for my book, All the Shooting Hoaxes Decoded. I show this. We have been given false shootings by the numbers for decades, people. This has been going on. This isn't anything new. This is an ongoing agenda. The PSYOPs have been with this nation forever, since the beginning. I bring up that Chicago has gematria 46. We're going to talk a lot about that number. It's coded all over the Dallas shooting. The word hate crime has gematria 46. So does the word chaos. The Masons believe in order through chaos. The Zionist Masons who rule over us operate out of New York and Chicago largely. Here's Beyonce. Beyonce's been getting involved in the race war. You know, what she did at the Super Bowl halftime was part of the contrived propaganda. There's no such thing as Mario Woods. She called for justice for Mario Woods. I'm going to link this post. You can read all about the Mario Woods shooting. It's all written about right here. It's completely fake. It's completely by the numbers. I just want to show you, though, why Beyonce's used. The Masons, the Zionists who rule over us, they control media, they control government, they control the entertainment industry. All of these people who they pay, who they make celebrities, who they make famous, they treat them like puppets. So they get Beyonce out there. You know, they got this Beyonce, stop killing us. This sign that keeps showing up at these fake shootings. Stop killing us, 58, just like Freemasonry. Notice that Beyonce in gematria sums to 33, just like race war, just like police. No coincidence. She's born into this Masonic tradition. Her full name, Beyonce Giselle Knowles, has gematria of 93. Special number to the gang represents Saturn, the keeper of time. This number was coded on Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. This year at the Super Bowl, what she wore was a tribute to what Michael Jackson wore for the Super Bowl in 93. Beyonce and Michael Jackson wore very much the same outfit. It's not a coincidence. There's a reason Michael Jackson performed at the 93 Super Bowl halftime show. There's a reason Beyonce performed this year participating in the Black Panther tribute Super Bowl, if you will, which is exactly what it was. The race war Super Bowl, something I was explaining going back to October, November, you know? Anyone who wants to come here and say my work is bogus, go back and see how I've predicted every sports championship from the beginning of the seasons. Football, NFL, MLB, college, pro. It's all scripted. It's all rigged. It's all the same thing. These people are running the show. So with regards to the Black Panthers, I want to transition into why I've been looking at August 22nd. I already have a video on this, but let's review. August 22nd is typically the 234th day of the year. 234 is another number connected to 666. 234 plus its reflection, 432, equals 666. This is a practice in numerology. This year, because it's a leap year, it's the 235th day of the year. This is a number that's been coded in stories of killing. We'll talk more about it in the next slide. The date, August 22nd, can be written 22/8. United States of America in simple English gematria equals 228. Martin Luther King Jr., the big way, equals 228. 93, the small way. Death in English gematria equals 228. Think about Black History Month. The last date of February is February 28th. As we write it in the United States, 2/28. That's the 59th day of the year. February, the only month with 42 gematria, 42 and 59, the number stamped all over Black people worldwide, coded into the month of Black History Month, as we call it. This is the date Huey P. Newton, the founder of the Black Panther Party, died. This year, from August 22nd to the date of the election, November 8th, is 79 days. The word murder equals 79. There's been a lot of deaths that seem to sync up with the election ahead. This year, the election falling on 11/8 is interesting. Death equals 118 in Jewish gematria, 228 in English gematria. All of these numbers are interrelated. You have to recognize that these four systems that I use, they're like the synonyms in language. You know, we have multiple ways to say the same thing. In gematria, multiple numbers represent the same ideas. This is the parallel. They do it this way for coding purposes. You know, you want to write a sentence and code something, you need a bigger number. You want to write a word and code something, you need a bigger coding system. You know what I mean? You work with this system, you begin to understand it. In the history of Lincoln, the first recognized presidential assassination, he was reelected on November 8th. He'd be killed not long after being reelected. So here's Huey P. Newton. He was killed the year the new Black Panther Party was established. He died in Oakland, where he established the Black Panther Party. New Black Panther Party in gematria sums to 89, like the year it was established. Black Panther Party alone sums to 74, like Masonic, connected to Freemasonry. What's really interesting is that this year, from the date of the Dallas shooting, Dallas Police equals 46, Sacrifice equals 46, Dallas, Texas equals 46. This year, from the date of the Dallas, Texas Police shooting to August 22nd is 46 days. Or the reflection, 6 weeks and 4 days. Remember, Barack Hussein Obama equals 64, civil rights equals 64. This narrative is going somewhere. There's other dates I'm also looking at right now. July 11th, very much standing out, connected to the Orlando shooting. July 22nd is always an interesting date. 227, an important number in assassinations in history. After that, the next date I'm really looking at is August 22nd. August 11th as well is also interesting, connecting to death. But this date, August 22nd, because of its connection to Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther Party, how that was significant symbolism in the Super Bowl, I got my eyes on that one. So that date comes 46 days after the Dallas shooting. Sacrifice 46, hate crime 46. If you haven't seen my other work, on the May 26th, Louisiana signed the bill Blue Lives Matter, and other states are debating this legislation. It's extra protection for police to protect them from hate crimes. And I was saying before the Dallas Police shooting even happened that the Alton Sterling and Philando Castile shootings are going to lead to this narrative they want for the Blue Lives Matter. And that's exactly what happened in Dallas. It was to protect from hate crimes. Hate crime equals 46, just like Dallas Police, just like Dallas, Texas. From July 7th to August 22nd, if you count the end date, is also a span of 47 days. The word president equals 47. Huey P. Newton died at age 47. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. Another special number to the gang. There's also this card game called the Illuminati card game. It came out in 1982. It turned 33 last summer. There's this card in here called Hit and Run. Hit and Run has gematria of 46. Hit and Run equals 46. Look at what's on the back of this license plate. 235, this year, August 22nd, the 235th day of the year. With the 666, we talked about how that connects to prophecy. This drawing, though, it looks more like Donald Trump, doesn't it? Kind of reminds you of his comb-over hair flying. He doesn't wear glasses, but you can see that the person getting hit is a white person. This card also talks about assassination. Assassination. So just remember all of this should anything transpire August 22nd or even sooner. This card game has predicted a lot of things that have happened in the world since 1982. All right. Now again, we're talking about a psychological operations for the sake of agenda, and part of that agenda is race war. In the wake of the shooting, the mainstream media put out this image saying someone had captured this. This was the shooter in Dallas. This is how they reported it at first. They said this was the shooter. They were talking about how he's carrying his gun openly. Texas is an open carry state. But look, you have to be a fool to look at this picture and think this picture is real. There's no camera that anybody has in the United States of America at this day and age that takes a picture this shitty. The mainstream media in these PSYOPs always puts out these grainy images. It's part of the conditioning. I was thinking when they put this out, this is probably a fictional character, not even a real person, just part of the race war agenda. You can see that every single person in the background is black. Turns out this is a real person. They ended up putting him on the news the day after the shooting to hear his story about how it felt to be the wrong person called out as the shooter. So when he was on TV, what I noticed is he was smiling, talking about how he's getting death threats, like typical, the crisis actor, which he was for this. This is another form of crisis acting, participating in the PSYOP, the hoax. I guarantee you this person's paid. I guarantee you this person's connected to Freemasonry. I guarantee you this person doesn't give a shit about anyone besides himself and his own family. You know, who's smiling and talking about how they have death threats against them? What they said is that he was the brother of the main organizer of the Black Lives Matter march that was Dallas 7th. And again, the Blue Lives Matter bill that was made and signed on May 26th targets Black Lives Matter and retaliation against police by Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is controlled opposition, as I've been explaining for more than a year, showing how it's all synced up by the numbers, by Freemasonry. Black lives equals 33, just like race war. No coincidence. The Freemasons created Black Lives Matter. They created the Occupy movement. They create all these things that they control to cast an image for the divide and conquer. So anyway, just think about this, though. You have to be an idiot to think this is a coincidence. The brother of the organizer of the event is who gets said to be the shooter. That's obviously straight up bullshit. And just think about the subliminal about putting these two brothers on the TV. Everyone knows that brothers is a term for black people. And look at what's on his shirt. I will lead. They dress up their actor agents in costume. He didn't put on this shirt. He's not leading anything. This is another sellout. I will lead has very racist coding in it. I will lead equals 42. Just like brothers, just like February, the only month that sums to 42, Black History Month, ends on the 59th day of the year. When you write out 5, it sums to 42. When you write out 9, it sums to 42. No other numbers do. Freemason also equals 42. The Freemasons have created our language. They've created words that are divisive that we used to create hate. They've coded their numbers into them. I doubt this guy knows any of this. I doubt either of these guys know any of this. Interesting to note that the movie directors, the Hughes brothers, are 44 years old right now. Shooting equals 44. That might just be a coincidence. But anyway, they said the brothers were named Mark and Corey Hughes. Corey has this gematria of 25, just like Micah, just like the age of the shooter. Mark has gematria of 25, just like the age of the shooter, just like the name of the shooter. 25, a big number on this shooting. I talked about how that connects to Obama's birthday as well. Mark and Corey Hughes both sum to 66. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible, the book of prophecy. Dallas equals 49, like Revelation. Mark Hughes also has gematria 57. This is tied to the July 5th shooting, 5/7, New World Order, 75, Scottish Rite, 57. When you write out 37, it sums to 57. All of these details are synced up and meant to correspond, with the story that came before, Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. If Mark and Corey Hughes are real people, if these are their real names, they were chosen through their Freemasonry brotherhood because of their name gematria. What I suspect is the truth, though, is these are their agent names that they use to go before the TV media and tell their bullshit story and to participate in part of this PSYOP. Because you have to realize, to the gullible masses who don't understand that everything that's in the national news is part of propaganda, something that everyone should have learned on September 11th, 2001, we're a nation of slow learners. But what this does for the people who don't get it is they see this and they're like, man, this is such bullshit. They just killed these black people and now they want to falsely blame this black guy. Look at this bullshit. And it is bullshit, but they're not realizing how these black people are selling out their own people. These guys did this for the money. For the money, don't kid yourselves. Here's some more emphasizing. We've been getting death threats. We've been getting death threats in gematria, sums to 121, just like Revelation the big way. We've been getting death threats in Dallas. Don't be deceived. If you haven't seen my other videos, I've shown how the headlines have been coding the prophecy, the revelation, as always. My book will be out soon. That's what it's all about, how they've been coding the numbers of revelation and prophecy since the beginning of this nation. This nation's based in the book of Revelation. That's why the original capital is Philadelphia, named from Revelation. So some more race war stuff. After the news out of Dallas, the next day they got shootings in Georgia and St. Louis of police officers. Georgia, the gematria 44, like kill, like shooting. St. Louis, 25, like a big number on the Dallas shooting. We'll go over all that's coded into the shooter, Micah Johnson, in just a moment. Baldwin, Missouri, where it happened at, gematria like death. Valdosta, gematria reminding of Dallas. We'll take a look at the police officers. First, we got to go back and look at everything coded into the shooter and how he syncs up with Dallas, Texas, and more. So they ended up by saying 5 dead, 6 killed, and then somehow a lot of headlines right now say 11 police officers were killed, 5 dead, 7 injured. The numbers aren't exactly making sense. They stuck at 11 forever, and then they bumped it up to 12. Notice that 5 dead, 7 injured is a lot like the date July 5th with the Alton Sterling killing that provoked this. But where most reporting says 5 dead and 6 injured, that connects to Black Lives Matter, which has gematria 56. The governor who made the bill in Louisiana targeting Black Lives Matter is the 56th governor of Louisiana, not by coincidence. This top headline, 5 Dallas officers killed, that in gematria sums to 84. just like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, just like United States of America, the PSYOP is for the nation. After the deadliest day for police since September 11th, that phrase in gematria sums to 163, the 38th prime number. Again, death 38, Minnesota 38, Louisiana 38. Alton Sterling killed in Louisiana. Philando Castile killed in Minnesota, supposedly. And when I say killed, I don't mean they were really killed. That's just the way it's reported. These stories are psyops. They are made for TV. They are fake, just like a killing in a movie isn't real. Gunman ID'd as 25-year-old Texan with no criminal record. They say he's former military. They said he moved with military training. And remember, it's the U.S. military running your media, running your government, running the propaganda, coding it out by the numbers. We started with the PSYOP Manual 33. So, the name Micah Xavier Johnson in gematria sums to 118, just like Dallas, Texas. Death equals 118, the last presidential assassination there. Baton Rouge equals 118. It's the Baton Rouge killing that really provoked this. It's no coincidence. It's as I always say, these shootings, the characters coded into them sync up with the location, the dates, the details. Micah Xavier Johnson, not a real person, a fictitious character made for this story. I don't think it's a coincidence that the name Micah Xavier equals 59 either, emphasizing Micah X. Negro equals 59, slave equals 59, blues equals 59, Rasta equals 59, Motown Records came out in 59. The Masonic Zionist Jews hate black people and use them in their agenda, making money off them. That's the reason Motown, the black record label, came out in 59. His initials break down to 11, like the number of officers originally reported impacted by the shooting. Micah also has gematria of 34 like murder. Xavier gematria of 79 like murder. Johnson 95, the reflection of 59. Micah Xavier has gematria of 113 like mainstream, like dishonest. His initials MXJ sum to 47. Again, very special number to the Freemasons. They have something called Euclid's 47th problem, which is about establishing foundation for a structure. And as I continue to say, all of these stories are building the ongoing narrative that will come to a climax at some point. Barack Obama being shot very well could be that climax. Here's that coding. More of that coding. 25 also has gematria of 50. The date of the shooting, numerology of 50. All of this stuff connected to Super Bowl 50, which had the race war symbolism. Before Super Bowl 50 happened, I pointed something out. The Denver Broncos lost in Super Bowl 25 to the 49ers. The 49ers just hosted Super Bowl 50. In Super Bowl 25, John Elway was the quarterback. He lost 55-10 to the 49ers. During the time of Super Bowl 50, John Elway was 55 years old. So were the Denver Broncos. And they ended up winning 24-10. Sum of 34 points. Murder number. And Truth Seeker, you know what? I have to correct myself. I just made a mistake. 24 and 25, when written out, both happened to sum to 50. It was Super Bowl 24, actually, where the Broncos lost to the 49ers. But 24 also sums to 50. And the Broncos ended up winning with 24 points, hosted by the 49ers. It's all the same. Kobe Bryant went into his final NBA game with 24 50-point games in his career. In his 50 points or higher. In his final career game, he got his 25th. Again, 24 and 25 both sum to 50. Utah sums to 50. He took 50 shots to score his 60 points. All of this stuff's connected. If you haven't seen my video on Kobe Bryant and all that his final game's connected to, including the murder of Moses Malone, the NBA Finals, Check it out. I'm showing how all this stuff is woven together by the numbers. The Masons have all this stuff scripted. It's amazing. It's amazing what they've done. You have to give it to them. This is amazing what they've accomplished. But it needs to be stopped because it's absolutely disgusting also. Here's Baton Rouge in Dallas, Texas, just like Micah Xavier Johnson, our coded shooter name for our coded shooting. They say he's from Mesquite, Texas. Show you what's so interesting about that. Mesquite, Texas has gematria 52 like prophecy. Check out this sign that they have up there when you look at it. City of Mesquite. It's on the 32nd parallel north, the 96th meridian. America equals 32, Freemason 96. America, the big way, equals 50. 50 states in America. But check this out. City of Mesquite equals 187, like the homicide code. Number they like to code into their shooters. I don't think that's any coincidence. I think that's all part of the tribute. They said that the shooting went on in this area over the course of time that it did. You know, they got Dealey Plaza on here before your eyes. Main Street Garden Park. Interesting that has gematria of 93, evoking Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., propaganda, and more. A lot of interesting gematria in these places listed. They put out this thing on Twitter, de-escalate, don't kill, which has gematria of 64 like civil rights, like Barack Hussein Obama. Back to where we began with that coded shot. Interesting they got him in purple too, you know. Purple. The color has the same gematria as poison in program. All right, Truth Seeker, I think we covered it all. This is the knowledge you want to use. If you want to learn how to do this gematria yourself, I have a video called How to Gematria. It's linked in the description. You can search that phrase in your YouTube bar. It'll pop right up. Learn these skills, apply them. Educate your friends, educate your family, educate your teachers, educate your coworkers. We need to stop this, you know? And also, my messages never have fear. All of you who are worried about FEMA camps and martial law, stop having that fear. There's no sense in having that fear. We, the people, outnumber these tyrants who are doing this to us. If we spread the knowledge, if we confront these governors, these mayors, we call them in their offices and let them know that we know what's going on, they're going to have to submit. We can stop this. That is the message. My next video that I'm going to work on right after this is the mayors and the governors and how they have collaborated to create this propaganda. Until next time, Truth Seeker. Encore. I got to give a shout out to Jeff Young. Jeff Young on his radio show, he put out a special broadcast yesterday. It's him calling the police office in Dallas, the mayor's office, and letting them know that we know they are hoaxing us. And this is what everyone needs to do. Please take a listen to Jeff Young's show. I will link it in the description. It's Music Without Boundaries. Excellent radio program. Bravo to Jeff Young and everyone else who called. Until next time.